Welcome to the First to Admit It podcast. I am truly so happy that you're here, tapped in, and just tuning in to the first of many episodes, the first of many series that I'll jump into on this podcast. Listen, I'm so just thrilled to kind of jump in here, but obviously some of you guys don't know me, and so I got to give you some meat to hold on to, if that makes any sense. My name is Stefan. I'm from Florida, but I live in New York. I am married, and I have a beautiful baby boy. His name is Wellington. I also have one on the way as of this recording. And so I own a few companies. I work. I go home and see my family, and I am kind of living in this world where I have a bunch of roles that I'm playing, and it rubs me sometimes. Sometimes I don't know how I deal with all of it, and a lot of times I'm not my best versions in all of those categories that I live in, all those roles that I play. And the reason I started this podcast is to kind of scratch that itch that I had. I have an itch to kind of expose my humanity. I have this, stuff going on with me where, I just want to bring light to the thoughts that you and I think on a daily basis, but never actually say. The things that you and I, or I guess I, go through on a daily basis with, my worldviews as a Christian, my worldviews as a black man, my worldviews as an American, my worldviews as a Haitian American, right? All those things are kind of tearing me in a bunch of different places, and I want to kind of expose that and kind of see the raw, uncut version of somebody, so that you, the person listening to this or watching this, can say, yo, there's somebody on the planet who actually gets it, or I can relate to that person. I really want to be transparent about the struggles of your average 29-year-old Haitian American man. And my average current lifestyle is built on the things of my past. There are things in my past that I regret, sins and tragedies. All of those things have made up my current unique experience. And so that leads me to today's actual topic. So I live in my world right now. My current mindset is what has set up this podcast, and what I want to talk about this current talk will segue into the next ones that we'll do for time immemorial, because I don't plan on kind of leaving this podcast in any way, shape, or form. For me, my current mindset as a 29-year-old husband, father, man in America is I want to be successful. I don't know why. But I have this unfettered desire to be as successful as I possibly can. I want my legacy to endure for generations. And so for me, that means I want to be the best at my trucking company, the real estate that I'm in, podcasting, the restaurant that I want to eventually open up, fatherhood, not husbandry, because that's not what it is, but being a good husband. And for the longest, I never saw a path to being the best at those things. For the longest, I just kind of was just living life. And things were happening at me and to me, but not because I actually caused them. And so what I realize is that I have to bring myself to sit down and say, you know what you want for yourself. You know what I would like to happen in my life. I know that I would love to be a millionaire. I know that I'd love to um, have a restaurant, a successful restaurant. I know I'd love to have real estate. I'd love to have, a genuine following on Instagram and YouTube, and have a presence in the world so that my voice means something. I know that I would like those things. I know that I'd like my kids to spend 6 months in Bali out of the year. I know that I want those things. So how do I get that stuff that's in my head, the dreams and aspirations and the thoughts that I have that are in my head? How do I get that to fall out and be present in my 3D tangible world? And so I had to come up with a plan. And what I realized is that, one, write this down. If you haven't, you should write something down. Write this down. Here's what to do. How to get from, your thoughts and your imaginations and your dreams and aspirations for yourself, how to get that from inside your head into your outside world. How to make an internal mindset and outside reality, right? For me, that is success in all ways, shapes, or forms of my life. I want to be the best version of myself in all ways, shapes, and form. You have to see. Okay, number one is you have to see your world. You have to see it, taste it, imagine what it's like to be that ultimate version of yourself. Whether it's, buying Ferraris, whether it's opening up, nonprofits, whatever it is that you got going on. Whether it's just being a mother, see the ultimate version of that in your mind's eye. Quantify it, palpate it, make it your own. Make sure you can really, that becomes you. You can close your eyes and you know what that looks like, right? Number two, write it down. What does that person look like? Number one. Number two, write down what that person looks like. Again, for me, it's being a great podcaster. For me, it's being a good father, a restaurateur, just a serial entrepreneur in general. So number one, you have in your mind's eye what you want your world to look like. Write it down. Number three, whatever version of you that is, whatever they do on a daily basis, write that down. You can imagine you want to be like Beyonce, for example. Whatever Beyonce does on a daily basis, she wakes up at 4 a.m., she brushes her teeth, makes her bed, then she goes down to the studio and records from 7 to 9, then she plays with her kids from 10 to 11, whatever that is, write it down. For you, it might just say, I want to lose 50 pounds this month or this year or whatever the case might be. I want to execute this particular goal. I want to, whatever that version of you, that supreme version, best ultimate version of you is, see it in your mind's eye, write down what that is, then write down what they would do on a daily basis. Write down the person's schedule on a daily basis. Then, once you've done all that, then once you have the person in your mind who's the ultimate successful, ultimate version of you, you commit to doing exactly what they would do on a daily basis. And just like that, you will have changed your reality and not even realize it. You will see that you will begin to do the things that the most successful version of yourself is doing, and you won't even realize it. You will be that person instantaneously just by going about their schedule, okay? And so it's going to cause change. I want to be clear. It's not going to be something that you can jump out of. You will eventually have to become that person because you are adopting their habits, you are adopting their attitudes about things, you are adopting their mindsets about certain things. So if you want to be a successful businessman and closing deals, do what that person would do on a day-to-day basis. If you want to be a up and coming cosmetologist or a six-figure beautician or a stockbroker or a pastor who has a large church or a large following on Instagram, do what the person who already has those things does daily. Literally follow their schedule to a T, and you will find yourself becoming that person without even realizing it. For me, that looks like organizing my life, acting like the CEO in every aspect of my life as the role. How do I engage the most in all those places? How do I become the most successful? I need to organize it and make sure that it's clear and concise what Stefan is doing. Follow the schedule of that successful person throughout. And it does seem like you're kind of jumping from hat to hat to hat, but that's the real life. That's the reality of life. You do jump from hat to hat, from hat to place to place to place. You do it every time. You just don't realize that you're playing 7, 8, 9 different roles in one person's body. So, taking points. How do I, especially in 2023, be the most successful version of myself? How can that be? How can this year be your launching pad where you are the most successful version of yourself? 1, see the world that you live in. See it in your mind's eye. Imagine it, taste it, feel it. Write that version of yourself down. Once you do that, write down what that person would do on a daily basis. Give that person a schedule. And then follow that schedule. And you'll realize how successful that you become. You'll realize that you are planning ahead. You are executing tasks, getting things done that you never thought you could ever do. I hope that for you, this podcast allows you to be a sounding board, allows you to kind of think introspectively, and support the channel on YouTube, support the channel here on Spotify and Apple Music. Listen, we're on the way up. I'm so happy to be here doing this content and sharing this with you and allowing you to kind of just see a little bit of my life. Leave likes, comments, share this. Please share it. And subscribe. Subscribe. And listen, if you ever feel like you're alone, I'll say it here first. We're all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. Stefan out.